Hey guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're having I hope you've had a great evening tonight. I wanted to jump on here because it's been so long since I've put out a video, and I wanted to get on here just to update you guys what's been going on in my life, and also in hope to inspire you guys and just call out this thing that I've been going through, and also find if anybody else has been going through what I've been going through. And for those who have overcome, also share what's worked for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your experiences on this situation. So by the title, I'm guessing you've already kind of guessed what I'm going to be talking about. And yes, so for the last 2 to 3 months, I have been sabotaging myself. Sabotaging, by definition, I mean consciously and unconsciously working against myself because I've hit my upper limit. Now, we all have this thermostat within ourselves, within our mind, of the level of happiness that we feel when we, in certain areas of our lives, should I say. It can be financially, emotionally, how much the level of money that you can earn and you'll be comfortable. So often when we go past that thermostat, it becomes overwhelming to deal with because it's out of our comfort zone, it's out of our norm, something that we're not used to. So in terms of myself, when I think about in the past, this is quite evident when it comes to myself financially. In the past, I never had any relationships with money, especially when I was a bit younger. And as I became a bit more independent, started getting money into my life, I would consciously work against myself because of the limiting beliefs I had towards money and relationships with money. And my belief was that money is not accessible. So whenever I used to get a lot of money, I used to spend the money. I couldn't keep more than 2 grand into my account. It would be like too much. I would spend it back down to £300. I know. So this is examples of how I've sabotaged myself financially in the past because of my limiting beliefs. Now recently, 2 to 3 months ago, I have been sabotaging myself because I began to be a little bit more consistent with my work. I began to gain a little bit more traction than I'm used to, getting messages and all of these things. And as soon as I saw that little bit of growth and consistency, I retrieved. I was like, whoa, I'm not used to this. And this is what happens when I've reached my limit. In my mind, there's a limit of the things that I can handle. So when I can't handle those situations or that little bit of consistency and a little bit of growth, I retreat back to my norm. I stop creating, I stop building, I stop putting anything out because I'm afraid. I have limiting beliefs that say, if I have success, will I handle it? Becoming more successful won't give me enough freedom in my life. Will I be able to sustain the position that I'm in when I become successful? So I consciously start working against myself. Instead of growing and building momentum with what I was doing, I retreat back to my comfort zone. So that's what I realized that I started doing. And when I do this, I don't like it at all because I'm in 2 different places. I want to grow. I want to grow because I want to be consistent and I want to be successful. But at the same time, I don't want to be successful because I have the limiting beliefs that say, if I become successful, I'm not going to be able to handle success. Or if I grow my business, I'm not going to have enough freedom in my life. So it becomes really overwhelming because you're battling with all these emotions. So it was so bad to the level that I started just paused and I wasn't doing anything. Now, we all, not all of us, some of us There are people who are sabotaging themselves. So this is something that people go through, and I would love to hear what you guys have done in terms of your lives when it's come to sabotaging yourselves. But something that I have become aware of and consciously chose to work on, because I don't want to obviously be in this place where I'm just like, okay, looking left and right like a silly goat. So I chose to work against it. And the number one thing that I did is, and I suggest that has worked, is just calling it out. Calling it out in a sense that become aware that it is happening. Don't be in denial. Call it out and say, this is what it is. Calling it out could be like just getting on a video and sharing it with other people on social media, or just getting your closest people that you trust, or one person who really believes in you, and say, this is what it is. You're calling it out to them because they're keeping you accountable, and you're also calling out to yourself because you're becoming aware of the situation, and you're saying, okay, there needs to be change right now. Something needs to be done, or nothing's going to be happening at all. See, if you don't work against those feelings and emotions, nothing is going to change. It's just like fear. If you don't choose to overcome your fear, the fear stays there until you choose to tap into that fear and you break through to the other side. And eventually you'll be looking like, what the hell was I fearing? That's exactly how these emotions are. So call it out. What are these feelings that you have? Why do you keep working against yourself? And the second thing is that I did is that, okay, calling it out, so I find what those limiting beliefs are. And what I say, my limiting beliefs is that if I become successful, I won't handle it. So replace those limiting beliefs with great positive beliefs that are going to support you. So my changed belief was, success increases freedom in my life. I can be successful and maintain what I have created because I have worked hard to be where I am. I hope you're getting an idea of what I'm talking about. So see what happens is that those limiting beliefs are within our subconscious mind. We've thought about them for so long, and our subconscious mind doesn't know what the real thing is and what the reality is from the thing that's false. So you have to change those things that you have within your subconscious mind and say, this is what it is. This is all those things that are going to support you. Replace them, put them there, and say to yourself every single day when you wake up in the morning. Certain times in the day when you feel like you're feeling a bit negative, you're limiting yourself with your beliefs. And the third thing is just to find great examples of people who are a living example of what you want. They've achieved and attained those things in their lives. So I have to find people who have been able to be successful and sustain their success. People who have had more freedom in their life as a result of their success. Find those great examples and just reflect on them and say, this is possible. These thoughts that I have about my beliefs are not real, and I can change that. Now the last idea is to force yourself. Now I'm not saying that you should force yourself like, oh, this needs to be done now. That's not coming from a place of creativity and inspiration. I mean, When I mean done now, that is not a place of, that's not coming from a place of creativity and inspiration. I mean, when I mean force yourself, I mean don't give yourself any leeways. Create a path that is not going to allow you to come out of where you're heading. So create small milestones that will lead you to the bigger milestone, so that in your eyes you can see that it's achievable. So step by step, do take one step at a time, little steps, and as long as you're growing 1% every single day, you're making small baby steps, you will suddenly reach to a level where you've reached that goal, that big thing that you want to, you're afraid of doing, and you won't even realize that it was so easy to overcome. So I believe that the number one rule in life is, in acing life completely, is just doing things that we find emotionally hard to do. The things that we find emotionally hard to do are often the things that are very good for us. See, as human beings, our minds have been trained to survive. So whenever we do something that's out of our comfort zone, out of our routine, and out of our norm, we retreat back to our dens. We see it as danger. And when we try to go past that thermostat, it's really rewarding, it's really fulfilling, because it shows the level of growth that you have made in your life. And that's something we should desire and aim to try and do. Now, so try waking up half an hour earlier. I bet you the number one thing that you did when alarm clock came on this morning is you snoozed. How about you step up when the alarm, try and set your alarm clock half an hour earlier. When the alarm clock comes on, do not snooze. As soon as it comes on, stand up and try and get your day started. See, every time you do something that you emotionally don't want to do, you find so difficult, you become in contact with a physical force that is required to making change in your life. So if you're going through life and you feel like feeling really down, or you're not feeling inspired, or you're just going through life, the chances are is you're lacking exploration and growth. Your soul needs feeding. You're lacking yourself from doing things that feel uncomfortable. Those are the things that are gonna grow you the most. So that's the experience that I have been going through, and those are the things that I have been trying to do in order to change this around, because I'm at a stage where I don't want to be the same. I really don't want to be the same. And if I'm not making some growth in my life, if I cannot see myself growing mentally as a human being, or mentally in my business and everything else that I'm trying to achieve, I feel frustrated and I feel a lot of pain, because the reality is all the information to get what I want is already out there. To create what I want is already out there. You need to learn how to start a business. You just search on Google. We've been created in the most amazing times of technology, and this is an opportunity for me to create something out of myself. And have you found yourself sabotaging yourself, working against yourself? Maybe you've reached breakthroughs and you just retreat back to your comfort zone. Let me know, please share with me, because I would love to hear what you've been through. And also, if you found this video helpful, please like and share with your friends. so that other people can find it useful too. Caring is sharing. So I hope to speak to you guys soon.